Hi guys, and welcome back to another gaming episode with me, Gamerlad. Today we have finally got a release date for Orisa. Orisa's been on the public test realm now for ages, and everyone's been dying to find out when we're going to get to play her on the console versions. Anyway, it turns out that date is going to be March 21st, next week. She's going to go live on all consoles and PC. Now, Orisa's been on the public test realm a lot longer than characters usually go on there, but that's because they've been doing some tweaks. Now, looking at Orisa's weapons and stats and abilities, etc., we're going to start off with the main attack. Now, Orisa's main attack is a fusion driver, and as we can see here, it is a linear projectile, which means basically it flies in a straight line. Unlike Hanzo's arrow, which has an arc, this fires in a straight line. We also notice it has no fall off damage, meaning if you're at point blank range or if you're 200 meters away from the enemy, that you're still going to do the 12 damage per projectile hit. Now, the offset at being able to fire so many rounds that do no fall off damage is the same as D.Va. The movement speed is halved. She goes down to 2.75 meters per second, down from 5.5. The projectile speed is 66.66 recurring meters per second. Now, if you want something to compare that to, that is exactly the same projectile speed as Zenyatta's orbs. She can get 12 of these projectiles off per second, giving her a DPS of 144 at any range, provided that all your projectiles hit, that is. Moving on to Orisa's secondary attack, we've got Halt. Now, Halt is basically a pint-sized graviton charge. Now, Halt is a linear projectile that fires at 20 meters per second. To put that in perspective, that is double the speed of Symmetra's energy-piercing ball. And anybody that is in 7.5 meters of that ball, when it hits wherever it's going to, is going to be sucked into the center of the Halt ball, just like a graviton charge. And this is going to be great because if you've got a team with, say, junk rats that can do a lot of AoE damage, you're going to get some serious damage in there. All you've got to do is make sure you get it on target. Now, going on to Orisa's next ability, this is 45. This is basically Orisa's own version of her shield, such as Zarya's, Winston's, etc, etc. What it does, it reduces any incoming damage for 50%, and the duration is 4 seconds with a 10-second cooldown. The next ability for Orisa is the Protective Barrier. Now, this is an arcing projectile, so when you fire this, it does have a curve on it, similar to Hanzo's arrow, and it lasts for 20 seconds, and what it does is basically it protects everybody for 900 health. So the shield in effect is similar to the shield that Reinhardt has and the shield that Winston has, and it has 900 health. So once it's took 900 damage, that's it, the shield is destroyed and everybody can be attacked again. But it's very, very good for protecting your ultimate, which we're going to go on to now. So here we have it, Supercharger. This is Orisa's ultimate ability. Now, when Orisa uses the ultimate ability and puts it onto the ground, you've got a little drum that has 200 health. Now, any of your teammates within a 25 meter radius of this drum gain 50% damage increase. The drum only lasts for 15 seconds, or the 200 health, whichever comes first. Now, a bit of advice from me would be to save your Protective Barrier, and when you use your Supercharger, smack it down, hide it around the corner, hide it where the enemy can't see it, where the Annas can't get it, the Pharahs can't get it, the Widowmakers can't get it, anyone that's long range. And then what you want to do is smack that Protective Barrier over it. Then you want to get all your DPS characters to be within a 25 meter radius and rain hell on the enemies. Now that we've looked at Orisa's abilities, what we're going to do is have a look at the skins. Everybody seems to be interested in what skins are going to be available, and I'm going to tell you what my personal favourite is when we get to it. But here we've got the classic skin, we've got the white armour with the green highlights, and it's quite a good look. It reminds me of Lucio. On to the next skin, we've got Dawn. Now, Dawn looks like it should be paired up with Symmetra. We've got the white and the blue, quite a standard look. Nothing special. Moving on to the next skin, we've got Sunrise. This is like a sunburnt red with an orange highlight to it. I'm not a huge fan. Moving on, we've got Twilight. I quite like this one. I quite like the colour purple. But we've got purple with the pink highlights. Looks very, very similar to the Sombra colours. And next up, we've got Camouflage. Now, this makes Orisa take on a rather more meaty and masculine, mean Bastion type look. and I quite like it. Now moving on, we've got carbon fibre. This is my personal favourite. I think this looks absolutely awesome. It looks like something from Destiny or from Tron Legacy. But yeah, we've got the black armour with the green neon holographic armour highlights. We're getting rid of that sash down at the bottom. We're getting rid of the neck scarf, changing it for ultra modern neon lighting. Moving on, we've got Dynasty, and this is a blue armour with red highlights. We've got the ram horns on the helmet and the dung beetle nose. It reminds me of a cross between Pinsir and Heracross, the two Pokemon. Now on our last skins, we've got Mega Summer. And this, again, is a cross between Pinsir and Heracross, but with the armour camouflage. It's a pretty cool look, really beefy. It looks like some sort of like heavily armoured ant or rhino type thing. Pretty cool skin. Now this is another favourite of mine. We've got the protector armour, very similar to the carbon fibre, but where we've got the black armour on the carbon fibre, we've changed it for the white in the protector. This is probably another armour that I'll buy just to switch things up. Like I say, the release date is March the 21st, which is next week. She's going to be going live across PC, consoles. You'll be able to play as her finally. Now just before we end this video, I'm going to run over some of the other updates which are coming in this patch regarding other characters. Now we're going to go in alphabetical order, and we're going to start off with Anna. Anna has been nerfed quite considerably. Her biotic rifle has been decreased from 80 to 60 damage, so every shot you've got 20 damage less, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're trying to burn down DPS characters and tank characters, it's going to be noticeable. So moving on to the biotic grenade of Anna's, the impact damage has been reduced from 60 to 30, so it only does half the DPS that it did originally, and the healing has been reduced from 100 down to 50, which in my eyes is quite excessive. I can see them probably upping that again in the future updates, but we'll see how it goes on. Now for fans of Junkrat, you're going to be pleased, especially if you play competitive. Junkrat's explosions no longer deal damage to Junkrat, meaning that you can stand in close quarters and blow people up to your heart's content. Going on to Sombra, now I agree that Sombra needed some changes. She was hyped up as if she was going to be this great player. She's quite feeble, if I'm going to be honest. So what they've done with Sombra is they've decreased the range that you can detect her going invisible. The sound effects and the voiceover for entering and exit stealth have been reduced to 15 meters. You know, because it's quite annoying when Sombra is like, I'm over here, and it's like people within 30 meters can hear it. It's pointless. You just fire off a grenade and you're dead anyway, especially if it's a Junkrat. But lowering that to 15 meters, we'll see if that helps. Now the cooldown on a translocator has been reduced from 6 seconds to 4 seconds, which is fantastic. We've still got the 15 seconds that it's up for. Now Winston's had a buff, which I'm so happy about, because I really like playing Winston, and I love it when there's a Winston on the team. He can change the game, but he's quite underrated. Winston's barrier projector, the cooldown now starts when he places the barrier instead of when the barrier ends. And last but not least, we've got Zenyatta. Now, I'm not very good with Zenyatta, but I know that a lot of people can be deadly with him. But Zenyatta's alternate fire, his orbs of destruction, basically where he fires all of his orbs in one go, the cooldown has been reduced from 1 second to 0.6, meaning that he can get back to firing his standard projectiles a lot quicker. Orb of Discord has also had a buff. You can now target enemies through barriers, because we all used to get annoyed, right, when you're using Zenyatta and they've got a Reinhardt and they're constantly putting the barrier up and you can't use your Orb of Discord to give them a debuff. Well, now you can, so watch out. And that's it. I'm going to wrap this episode up, guys. I hope they've been of use to you, and I hope that you're going to leave some comments down in the comment section below. Let me know what you think of the abilities. Let me know what you think of the skins. Let me know what you think about the buffs and the debuffs to the other characters. I hope to see you all in game on March the 21st, when I'm going to be trying out Orisa for myself. I've been Gamerlad, guys. I'll see you for now.